Hey there, creepy peeps, and welcome to day 22 of 31 days of Horrorween. Oh my gosh, we are almost done with October already. Every October, it feels like it goes by so fast and yet so slow. Today we're gonna be talking about the Prowler, which was, I don't know why I did that, which was suggested by Audra Monzon, I really hope I said your last name right, I'm sorry. Before I get into anything else though, I want to say thank you to my creepy patron peeps for your support of my channel, especially Raiders AK as their username says. You would have seen them pop up on my patron list already, but I wanted to give them a shout out real quick. Thank you so much for your support, Raiders, and to all my other creepy patron peeps. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep, you can follow that link in the description. Directed by Joseph Zito, The Prowler follows a college graduation ball. The ball is the first one in 35 years after a young couple was murdered at the dance. When the killer returns with the return of the graduation ball, a young deputy and one of the college students try and find out his identity. So in slasher movies, we usually give as much credit to the person playing the slasher as we do the main cast, as we definitely should. In this movie though, the Prowler was actually played by 3 different people. The first is the assistant director, Peter Giuliano. I hope I said his last name right. He was responsible for the scenes where the Prowler was walking around, stalking people, you know, in general being creepy. And the special effects makeup artist for the movie, Tom Savini, played the Prowler during the close-up gore scenes because he obviously knew how the effect was supposed to work. And of course we have the person playing the character who is supposed to be the Prowler within the movie, who was playing the Prowler obviously for the reveal at the end of the film, which I won't reveal just yet. I'll definitely spoil stuff, but not just yet. Alright, so just to kick it off, I loved the opening sequence of this film. It was set in the 40s when the original dance happens, when the movie opens, but I loved how it still kind of had an 80s slasher feel to it. I don't know if this is gonna make any sense, but I'm gonna try and describe it the best I can. It's a couple and they leave the dance and they're, you know, by themselves in a park or something like that, and the boy keeps trying to, you know, kiss the girl and whatever, and she's very like, you know, it's the 40s, she's kind of like prudish a little bit, like, oh, like we can't, like it's inappropriate, like it's so scandalous, oh my gosh. And of course they get killed when they are kissing, not like making out or heavy petting or anything like that, just kissing. Normally in 80s slashers, it's more like, you know, flash forward 40 years, in the 80s, it's the kids like heavily making out or full on having sex when they get killed. So I liked how the characters are like, it's so scandalous that they were kissing when they got killed. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it was just like, I don't know, it's kind of funny, but in a good way. And of course, speaking of the kills, we have to talk about the special effects makeup and the practical effects, which were done by Tom Savini, as I mentioned. Of course, they were great, and I really loved how the camera lingered on the kills as opposed to cutting away or us just seeing the aftermath of the kill. I like this for 2 reasons. One, because we could enjoy the special effects work, which was awesome, and 2, because it definitely added to the tension and made you feel uneasy because, like I said, a lot of times the camera cuts away, so you understand that somebody is dying, but you're not forced to watch it happen. Whereas in this movie, the camera lingers, and obviously even though nobody's actually dying, it feels more brutal because you're watching their life leave them, at least within the movie. And not to mention that, but the kills were brutal. There were some, like, it was just like little things, like a character gets choked to death with a blade, so I guess like cut and bleeding out while also choking on a blade as opposed to like just slashing the neck and, you know, you see the blood run out and that's it. Like, I don't know, it's just, it felt extra brutal in this and I liked it. Then jumping off from talking about the camera, there were a few moments in the film where the camera was obviously like handheld, because you could tell, because you could feel each step. I noticed it when characters such as Deputy Mark were, you know, investigating a scary noise. He's investigating a house where the killer is supposed to be in. So like the camera is following behind him while he's walking slowly around the house and you see the camera moving with the steps too. So like it immerses you more in the moment and it gives a sense of realism to the movie. So, you can immerse yourself in that way also. And I really liked that. Okay, now on to what I didn't like and the spoiler for who the Prowler is. It turns out it was the sheriff, who I didn't mention it in the summary, but he is going on this fishing trip or whatever same weekend as the graduation ball, and it's just all too convenient. Of course, he's like insisting that he's going on his trip no matter what, even though it's the return of this graduation ball where 35 years prior 2 kids were killed. And he's just gonna leave his one deputy in charge of the whole town. So literally as soon as the sheriff is leaving for his trip, I'm like, cool, so he's the Prowler. Which it turns out I was right, he is actually the Prowler. Although I didn't much care who the killer was, to be honest. I feel like the film lingered a little bit too much on Deputy Mark and Pam, the student who is helping the deputy figure out who the Prowler is. And plus, I feel like you get all of the killer's motives in the beginning of the movie. Like, it opens with a girl reading a letter sent to somebody who I guess was overseas, during the war or whatever, and she's breaking up with him, and then she's at the dance with, they don't reveal that it's her who wrote the note, but it's like I just put 2 and 2 together, seeing as she, murdered, it's just like, okay, I understand his motives. Like, obviously the guy doing the killing is whoever this letter was sent to, and that girl is the one who wrote the letter, and he is mad because she went to the dance with some other guy. So I feel like I found out everything I needed to know about the killer's motives right in the beginning of the movie. And this movie is also full of characters making bad decisions. There's one scene in particular that I was just scratching my head at. It's kind of towards the beginning when Pam is being chased by the Prowler, leaving her dorm room while this happens. And so she's running down the stairs away from the Prowler, who of course is just walking down the stairs like most slashers do. And she has a pretty significant lead on the guy. Like, she's a good couple of floors ahead of him, and she stops at a random floor just to run down the hall and bang on doors and try and get somebody to help her, when it's like, why not just run all the way down the stairs and get out the door? You already have a lead on this person. I know this is a thing, like this is a slasher thing, that characters are supposed to make bad decisions, but I just feel like I'm at that point now where I'm tired of seeing characters make obviously stupid decisions. Like, wouldn't it be so much more scarier if they do all the right things, like, the whole way along, you're like, I would do that, I would do that, I would do that, and they still get killed? Like, that would be terrifying, because then it's like, no matter what you do, you can't get away, and that's scary. I thought it was a decent enough slasher, and it's worth watching alone just for the special effects makeup. They are actually really good, so I highly recommend you checking it out if you haven't already. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. On IMDb, it has a 6.2 out of 10. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 60% critic score and a 49% audience score. And then on Letterboxd, it also has a 3 out of 5. Obviously, I watched this on Amazon, so if you want to rent the movie via Amazon as well, there's an affiliate link in the description for you to use. There's no pressure to use that link, but if you do, it does help out the channel. And there are also affiliate links to every single movie that I've watched this month that are available anyway. Over on my blog, which is also linked in the description. So if you've seen the Prowler, let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about it. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here and become a creepy peep today. I post videos Monday through Friday normally, and then every single day this month, obviously, there's been a movie review for October. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay strange. Bye!